I apologize profusely for the last ending of the first video of my 15th attempt on trying to make a bloody statement. So as I said, this oxymoron or red-headed troll who exercises his right of freedom of speech is not going to have any repercussions for inciting a fucking riot, causing the death of 3 people, and all he gets is a slap on the wrist. When the hell did freedom of speech, aka hate speech, allow us to cause problems like this? So we lost 2 cops and a very pretty young lady who died for some asshat who wanted some damn statues to be removed instead of just taking the peaceful route and walk around the damn park. You don't have to look at the park. You don't have to cross through the park. You didn't need to have any of this shit happen for statues that have not made one fucking get up and gallop move out of that park. There has been a year-long and some change fight over these statues. This statue issue started like 3.5 years ago or better. And I've never understood how these statues were hurting people or causing so much panic, chaos, and disorder that we would have a rally about free speech where people could go around and talk about people of color or people who don't have the same love in heterosexuals and all that other stuff, cause such chaos. So then we got this dude who decided, hey, I'm gonna speak my speak. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of asshat people who hate other people because we got nothing better to do with our time but hate fellow Americans, and carry torches up to the university. And yes, this actually happened the day before all the murder, death, kill shit. And you know the funky thing about it? About this time last year, the KKK came through. They ran their hate speech and all that crap, and as bad as that sounds, their hate speech was not bad enough to cause the death of 3 people, a fucking riot, get some gigantic jackass from another state to plow through people with their car because he wants to be a martyr or a hero to a cause that is pointless. I'm of Native American descent. I'm of black descent. I'm of white descent. Now, what makes me special? Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. I never claimed to be special. I'm no better than anybody else except for maybe in Kung Fu or some shit like that. But outside of that, we're all the same. If you prick me, do I not bleed? A very famous poet said that. I have no idea who the hell it is, but it's been used like 1,000 times in all different things. But the truth of the matter is, yes, if you prick me, I will fucking bleed. Do I need to bleed on this show to get your attention? I don't think so. Or I could just wear red so the bad guys can't see me bleed. But since I'm the bad guy playing the good guy playing the bad guy, it really doesn't matter if I put this mask on or not. There's a couple of movies coming out that's probably going to be very controversial. And I just found out about this movie I'm about to tell you. I don't know the name of it. But there's a movie about being born into a gay family but wanting to be straight. I seen a preview for it. And honestly, it straight tripped me the hell out. I almost died when I seen the preview because I thought that shit was the funniest thing ever. And then there's another movie coming out about a black man who was in the Ku Klux Klan, and supposedly is based on multiple events. And I mean multiple events. And I'm thinking to myself, see, Dave Chappelle said that one time on the Dave Chappelle show. And I've said it because nobody on earth hate black people more than black people. Now, I probably just hit the lines of, you just defended 20% of your viewers, James. Yes, I did. But how many black people you know help other black people just because it's the thing to do, instead of maybe it's going to give me political gain? or something in that recall of things. You know, nobody. And why? Because most of us don't want to say what is true. Most of us don't want to face things that we don't want to fix, or things that can be fixed, but we just choose to take the coward's way out, like plowing your car through a bunch of innocent people to make a statement because you want to be known as a martyr or a hero to your cause. You want to be a hero, you want to be a martyr, try doing something that benefits all people, not just your people. So, in my psychiatry class today, I figured I'd bring this up because I don't want to seem like I'm condescending, and I may have some psychology classmates that are watching, and if you are, thank you. One, I wanted to make Kung Fu movies to teach Kung Fu for free. The movies were supposed to be able to support my dojo, my home, my way of living, which really isn't that bad. It's a great plan. The problem is, no one knows who the hell I am, or care, for that matter. And this is why I bring this up. Because I said this before, and I'll say this again. And I'll say this until the day I die, because I live in this fact every day. No one hates black people more than black people. Now, systemically, we all like to talk about racism and things like that. And I will make a videotape about reverse racism sometime tonight. Because if you haven't been a victim of reverse racism, for you, it does not exist. For me, I live with it. In psychology class today, we also had two different viewpoints. I can relate to both of them. There's a lady, I don't know her name, and there's a younger lady, I don't know her name, but she is of Latin descent, and the other lady is not. And they were talking about how anger is a choice, or an emotional choice, and how if you choose to be happy, then you will be happy, and no one can break your spirit. However, this is where the lines get blurred, okay? Because the young lady is a person of color. She is not black, but she is a person of color. She's like a little bit lighter than my actual color, which is right here. And for that, I understand where she's coming from, because systemically, I'm the only one in that class, probably her now, but I'm the only one in that class that can relate to her for the simple fact that people of color, racism is an emotionally charged anger. Now, let me put it to you right so that you guys understand. If you have never been called out of your race by someone who is not in your race, or even worse, by someone who is in your race, then you won't understand where the woman's coming from. Racism, it don't really hit you here as much as it hits you here, which is where she was coming from. She was coming from the heart because she clearly was a victim of racism. Now, I don't know which one of her friends, whether they were white friends or Latin friends or Asian friends, that threw her into that category, but I've been there. I've been there since middle school. Excuse me. I've been there since grade school. There has not been a half-breed joke that I have not heard. There has not been a time since the fucking 5th grade that I have not been called chief. Alright? It didn't really bother me that much until Lou Diamond Phillips and Kiefer Sutherland made a movie called Renegades, where it became an on-running joke on how to piss off Native American people, which I believe Lou Diamond Phillips is actually Filipino. But I'm not sure, because he's played a Native American in more than one case, but hell, Val Kilmer played a Native American, so what the fuck? Hell, Johnny Depp has played a Native American because he was Tonto in The Lone Ranger. Not getting off track. Again, I will bring all that up in another video. We, here in Charlottesville, had a racist thing going on for the last 2 nights. I didn't know about it until like last night, so I didn't have any way of signing up about it. I found out about it on the news. So we had a racist forum about how people of other races don't talk to each other, but should talk to each other to try to break the racial divide. Again, I'm bringing this on back around to these statues and stuff now, and why we need to grow up. We see pieces of ceramic to honor Southern war heroes, not Northern war heroes, because a lot of black people would love to believe that their ancestors fought in the Civil War, for freedom. However, we could also be very wrong about that because technically Virginia was a southern state. Alright, so during the Civil War, anybody who came through here who wasn't Harriet Tubman, if they had on a uniform, they were probably fighting for their freedom, but they were fighting against fighting for their freedom. Just do your history board, just in case I totally worded that wrong. Here's the thing. On August 12th, after the KKK came through, like a week or two before, some jackass decided I'm going to voice my opinion on my freedom of speech to teach everyone in Virginia, specifically Charlottesville, to hate everyone else. What the fuck is the problem with our country that we have to hate each other over the one thing in the universe that no one can change? We don't have that technology. Of course, all of you guys on your tablets watching me or your cell phones watching me right now are thinking, really? I can't wake up tomorrow and go to a scientist and say, hey dude, I want to be a white man. Or, hey dude, I want to be a Samoan so I can be like The Rock or Jason Momoa. Or I want to be full-blooded Cherokee. Because in my heart of hearts, I feel more Cherokee than I do black, than I do white. But I don't deny that I am white and black as well as Cherokee. However, when you look at me, you see a person of color. You hate me for the one thing I can't change. I can change my attitude. I can change my voice and start talking more sophisticated. Or I can start talking like a demon. Or I can stand up straight and posture. And act like a soldier. Because I was a soldier. And once a soldier, always a soldier. Attention. Now, there's a lot of things right there. I just went through mad changes. But it has not changed your opinion of who I am. As they say, once a soldier, always a soldier. People will look upon me and say, once an asshole, always an asshole. But I'm everybody's kind of asshole because I'm an honest one. We don't like honesty. Check that. Americans don't like honesty because most of us can't handle it. Americans secretly don't have a problem with people being racist, but it's a time and a place for everything. You want to gather in the woods on a Friday night around a fire and tell stories about how we're going to burn some niggers. That's okay. That's your freedom of speech. But all of a sudden, one guy wants to get out in the middle of the fucking city and cause all kinds of problems about it because he hates niggers. I said it, niggers. N-I-G-G-E-R, niggers. Now, if the script was reversed, and slavery was reversed, for those who do not know, just in case you don't, I do like history. And for those Americans of blacks and Asian descent, you need to understand something, that there were also white slaves. In case you didn't know, indentured servants were white people. And they also were slaves. Now, they may not have had it as bad as the Kunta Kinte version of getting your fucking foot chopped off because you want to run to freedom. But they still had it pretty bad. And yes, some of those female indentured servants also faced rape and witchcraft persecution. Why do we not know about this? Because school academics have this curriculum thing that they are not allowed to teach you. This is where reading becomes that double-edged sword of, it's the best thing and the worst thing that could ever happen to you. It's the best thing because you read and you learn and you achieve because you can succeed as long as you know how to read. Most of the time. Unless you don't read the fine print, then you get fucked up the ass with red hot poker and no Vaseline. It's the worst thing that can happen to you, again, because you didn't read the fine print. Or the fine print was in a different language that you couldn't understand because it wasn't mandatory for you to learn language. Now it's almost basically mandatory that you have to learn all this other shit in life that you are probably never going to use when you graduate. This is where the curriculum kicks in. Now here's the thing. I'm not famous yet. It's up to you to help me get there. But can you handle someone of my caliber by giving me fame? Better yet, can I handle my fame if I get it? Here's what I can tell you the truth about, though. The truth is that we as humans, some of us are racist. You're not born racist, you're taught it. So if we can teach our young children at an early age to stay innocent and pure, and not when they come home, oh, I hate this guy because he's Chinese, his eyes slanted, and when he smiles, I can't read what he's thinking. Or I hate this guy because he's white and he's pasty and pale, and I'm white and I'm tan and I'm Italian and I'm Jewish and I'm Hebrewish and I'm Native American and I'm a black man. I don't like being called a nigger, but most of these people that I just named called me a nigger, so I'm going to come up with some kind of derivative like a cracker or a honky. Or I'm going to come up with the same derivatives that the white people use on the Asian people. For the red man, I'm going to call him chief. But the yellow man and the red man are the same, so I'm going to call the red man the chief and the yellow man a slope, a slant out of gook. And this is how this shit happens. No one wants to grow up and say, hi, my name is Stephen Wong. Or hi, my name is Crazy Hawk Williams. Or hi, my name is John Smith. No, we don't want to use names. We want to use hate speech to identify people who very well could save your life tomorrow. There have been many stories, and I will get into that on another video, but this video must come to an end because in the end, the only thing that I want for us all to do is to grow the hell up. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfort Habit number 2. I hope I've touched your hearts and your mind on some level or another, because somebody's behind my door and I know they see those damn lights. Be seeing you.